Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, I know we've already talked about this more than once, but this is really starting to bug me. You know, that Kansas law and the states that want to try to copy that law. It's not so much, what's already been said and done. What's getting to me today is the arguments by privileged white cis male men and a couple dumb women that really, tools of the patriarchy, so to speak, that make these arguments, okay, in favor and saying that this is common sense. No, it isn't. I mean, okay, so, as we previously mentioned before, what this current law is doing is invalidating driver's licenses and identifications, which of course without identification you can't take out a bank loan, can't take out any loans, you can't even get a hotel room, much less buy alcohol, guns, or drive a vehicle. This creates a lot of problems. If you're applying for a passport, oh, guess what? You can't do that now. Well, you wouldn't want to right now, given Marco Rubio's stance on shit. Shame on you, Marco. Cabrón. Anyway, so what I'm seeing a lot of is these people of privilege. Let's put it that way, since they love calling us so many fucking names, right? But if you refer to them as cis males or even cis females, they get really fucking bent out of shape. I mean, it's like they can call us whatever they want, but we're not allowed to refer to them in that regard. They want to say cis is a slur. It's actually something was invented in Germany in 1914 to describe, being comfortable in your own skin. I mean, essentially that's what it means, but whatever. I was like, you don't get to act so damn tough, and continually dish it out, and then, act so butthurt when it's, we're not doing it to insult anybody. It's just our way of defining things, because again, those people live in a binary world. We look at things from a non-binary perspective, because many of us are non-binary. Some of us will say we're intersexed, some of us will say we're trans, some of us will say we're femmes, what have you. Whatever the case may be, the people you're trying to persecute, we view gender as a spectrum, because there's varying degrees of it. I know two of us are quite exactly alike. And believe it or not, that actually surprises some other trans people. Had an incident a couple months back, went to Trans Latina, and I'm trying to get some assistance regarding, this matter of housing. And the interview kept getting interrupted over and over again with the same question by the person who was supposed to help me. And I kept saying, but you don't like men? I go, what does that have to do with anything? Gender and orientation, two different things. Not always on the same page, especially with femmes. You'd be surprised how many of us have wives. You'd be surprised how many of us still have families or have made some, Hey, we're not all going to live up to your stereotypes. And that shouldn't even be an issue, but apparently it is for some people. And that's kind of stupid. Getting back to these licenses. Okay, so the most comments come from, of course, cis white males. And, they hate that. They hate that at all. And they say, well, we want accuracy. Accuracy. Okay, let's back up here. Okay, you want accuracy of, because they're trying to say we're misrepresenting ourselves. No, we're not misrepresenting. You ask me, are you transsexual? Are you transgender? Or are you a femme? I'd say, well, yeah, okay. I'm not going to try to say I was born female. A part of me was, but unfortunately not all of me. And, we heard over and over again when we were kids in the 70s, we'd hear, we have the technology. And yes, we do. Remember what Obama said? Yes, you can. In spite of what you guys have to say. So they say, oh, you can't change. Well, yes, you can. especially you, Elon, you're trying to say we can't change. Okay, if that's the case, then you need to turn in your hair plugs. Okay, go back to being a bald man. Okay, if that's the way you feel about it. No, that's not very practical, is it? Okay, so why do you expect such impracticality of us? That's ridiculous. I mean, to demand that we have our gender at birth, assigned at birth as our IDs, that doesn't reflect who we are now. That would make as much sense as putting your baby picture on your driver's license. And then just imagine, cop pulls you over, you've got this ID, you're complying with the law. You have your baby picture. And cop says, this doesn't look like you. Well, duh. No shit, Sherlock. Gender? Okay. If you're presenting female, you're going with a female aesthetic. Doesn't matter. You're a femme, you're transgender, you're intersex, whatever, non-binary, doesn't matter. Okay? If you are presenting with a female aesthetic, of course, you are either going to want one of two things. You are either going to get an F marker, particularly if you've already had SRS, you've had bottom surgery, you definitely want to have that F marker, of course. Okay, now, you're non-binary. Maybe you're a femme, like me. You're going to go with the X marker. I mean, if you really want to be very specific, and you were getting that surgery, then by all means, go for that F marker. I'm not comfortable. I mean, that's why I won't say, they say, you're trying to be a woman. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm just being a femme. That's, womanhood can mean a lot of things. I mean, really. I mean, it's not, you're into women that wear nothing but jeans, okay? Some may even cut their hair really incredibly short, may never wear makeup, may never even act feminine. Yet they're still women, okay? But according to some men, they're one of us. Please, Listen, aesthetics do matter because identities are supposed to reflect who you are, okay? Who I was at birth isn't the person I am now. I was born with black hair, okay? If I didn't put my little Revlon red on here, it's like, yeah, I would probably be all white, and I would look about 50 years older than what I really do. But that's besides the point. It's like when you present an ID, you want to identify that you are who you say you are. So if I present an ID that says my eyes are blue and my hair is blonde when I was born with brown and black, that may not be too big a deal, but but they look at that gender thing, and okay, so I may be convincing to some people, maybe not. I don't really give a shit. I'm almost 60 years old. I don't really care about these things so much anymore. So long as I'm pleasant to me and pleasing to my wife, that's all that really matters to me. I don't do this for any man, nor do I give a rat's ass what anyone else has to say on the matter. Because again, I do this for me, because what matters to me is more important than what you think. So, and I don't need anyone's approval, nor does any other transgender, nor do we owe you an explanation, or do we need your approval. We don't need these things. But under the previous laws, and the laws that are recognized in a lot of countries, particularly in the European Union, they want your identification to specifically express who you are, the gender or identity that you are living. So, like for example, if you've got a full head of hair, you're a man, you got a full head of hair, but your ID says you're bald, they might want to run their thing, and see, is this the same person? So by forcing particularly, trans women, because this is really about hurting trans women. They almost ignore trans masks, but unfortunately they've kind of got looped into this as well. By us presenting who we are and now being forced to get a license or identification that says we're someone else, that could get us people in trouble. And the people who thought this side up, they weren't interested in accuracy. No, they're into violence. They love violence. They love to see somebody they don't like or someone they don't understand, because right now we're everybody's whipping boy. You guys are scapegoating us for everything, and it's getting ridiculous. I mean, my existence or my identification does not affect the price of eggs. It doesn't affect, but go ahead, keep paying that $7 a gallon you're paying right now, thanks to your Führer's, ridiculous war, which, was just purely done to distract you from the Epstein files. Ooh, look at it, transgender for everyone. There is no such thing. It's bullshit. We don't want you to be transgender. I mean, if you're trans, you're trans. Okay, well, that's that. It's like if you're going to try to improve upon your life, by all means. You want support. Okay, yes, you can. There is a community for that. But otherwise, we're not recruiting people and seeing us in a film or television show. Mind you, I was on almost every sitcom from 1995 to 2002, so I've been in your living rooms. If you watched Angel or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you watched Babylon 5, you watched Will and Grace, you watched the Drew Carey Show, you watched Dharma and Greg, and quite a few other shows, even some movies, like 8mm. A couple Robin Williams film, Father's Day, maybe, perhaps. That was me. I was in your living room, and not one single conservative complained. You know why? Because you guys didn't care. And I was good with that. I don't need this negative attention, believe me. Neither do any of my other sisters out there or trans mass brothers out there. I mean, I don't have much in common with them, but, they're suffering too from these unjust laws, which are purely designed to put us in dangerous situations. Now, I hear mostly, again, these are the same men who are arguing in favor of it. First they throw we're protecting women and girls. No, you're not. You're trying to police who can be a woman, or how a woman is supposed to appear in their eyes. Never mind what you have to say on the matter. It's ugly. It's so misogynistic. It's so patriarchal. It's so Cro-Mag, stupid. But having identity papers, how often, a lot of women dye their hair. Let's be honest with you. Half the blondes you run into aren't really blonde. Same with redheads. Ask me, did I ever dye my hair red? Of course I did. My hair used to do this on its own, but I'm past that age where, I have color now. Everything comes out white now. And I don't really want to look like a senior citizen. So there you go. And I'm not alone. There are men who dye their hair, okay? Or they dye their beards, whatever the case may be. But you wouldn't want to have an ID that says you're one color and you're not the other, or you're one gender, you're not presenting as the other. Again, if you've ever been pulled over by a police officer and something is not right, the worst thing you want to do is be in that situation where all of a sudden they come back and suddenly they stop being nice to you and they pull a weapon on you and tell you to step out of the car. That can go south 100 different ways. That's dangerous. You don't want that, and I think the people who thought these laws up, they knew exactly what would happen. They knew, because they just like to hurt people. That's what this is about. Let's be honest with you. But these guys are cowards. They can't be seen doing it themselves, or they don't have the courage to just walk up to somebody and just punch them for no reason. Probably because they'll get arrested, especially if it's caught on film, or who knows, whatever the case may be. These people are looking to incite violence. They're looking to humiliate. They're looking to hurt people who've done nothing to them. I don't really understand the whys of this, but the comments that people leave, and they talk about, they say, well, we want this accuracy. No, you don't. You didn't give a rat's ass about it. Look, I lived as a trans woman for several years until after 9/11. Things got very complicated, and I left the life for a while and almost didn't survive. And it took me a long road to come back. And I came back and I found my trans joy, and everything was going good until these bastards go on. First it was the Heritage Foundation, but they weren't getting enough attention until the gun lobby started to help them out. Still not making that big an impact, somewhat laughable, but then Elon Musk came in and Peter Thiel, and they all started throwing their money around, and before you know it, all of a sudden we've got this mad dog of a psycho president who's throwing gasoline on a fire that other people have lit, and they're blaming us for everything from price of gas, how you pay your taxes, to the quality of corn. Who knows what you guys are going to blame us for next? I mean, it's part of, I think, why Republicans are so determined to destroy public education, because they don't want people to know about the Holocaust. They don't want to know how things went down in Germany 100 years ago. You ever heard the number 6 million Jews, right? Well, before they went after Jewish people, they went after transgender people. And there was a colony of transgender people there in Berlin. And they all got their meds, and some got their surgeries through the 1920s, all the way till 1933 in Berlin. And these were the first people the Nazis targeted. They murdered most of them. And those that did survive that initial onslaught, were sent to Dachau and never seen again, and to a fate worse than death. And the idea that people have this hate, which we don't understand why you have this hate. I mean, I understand some men are insecure or homophobic, what have you, but chances are you're probably never going to run into one of us. I mean, there's so few of us. I mean, we're 1% of the population, and we're mostly regulated to the big cities, largely because that's where we can get everything we need and also find community. So, if you do run into one of those, chances are you might not even notice. Because we're not out to seek attention. We're not out there committing crimes or what have you. Oh, but there was a mass shooter. That's, they weren't trans. They, might have had their issues. But one or two people out of 4,000 white cis males, yet they want to take away our guns. Yeah, where's all you Second Amendment people? You're really suddenly very quiet. It's crazy. You're afraid of us. That's the part that cracks me up, because act so fucking afraid when you walk up to a pretty girl and you think she's trans, and maybe she is, maybe she's not, and you physically attack her. You come out there with maybe 5-6 guys like that creep in Seattle, jumped a girl on a college campus, 5-6 guys that broke her fucking teeth in her nose, and she didn't deserve any of that. And again, they cite, we hope Trump kills you all. Why? Where is this venom coming from? You didn't care 3 years ago. Mostly you didn't even know we existed. And if you did, you didn't care. There were more important things going on in your life. And we hope that at some point you'll get back to those important things, because we are not the cause of your problems. We're not the reason why you're paying so much for everything. We are not the reason why you work so hard and it seems like you're always drowning in debt, or why your bosses are making so much money and you're not. We're not the cause of that. We're also not the cause or the person responsible for taking away your health care. That has nothing to do with it. None of these things have to do with it. But that's what your politicians should be focusing on. Persecuting a small minority of people that maybe you don't understand. You don't have to understand everybody. I personally don't give a rat's ass if you bothered to learn anything, but don't repeat talking points. Consider the source. Seriously. You're listening to people who also didn't know who we were 3 years ago, yet you're going to listen to these so-called experts, and they're just, creating hysteria and spreading falsehoods, and And of course, there's that tired old lie. Oh, we're protecting children. Yeah, you said the same thing about gay people 30 years ago. I was there, trust me. And, it's the same tired old lies and the same old tactics, and the same uneducated people fall for it every single time. We're the cause. We're blamed from everything from the price of eggs to the weather, practically. I mean, seriously, folks, you need some perspective and understand, again, these laws are designed to do only one thing. They're not designed to protect anyone or represent accurate. They're designed for violence. Violence and the evil that inspired that violence. Put us in difficult situations. It's just like your bathroom laws, It's like you're putting people in the position where they have to make that difficult choice between possibly getting arrested or getting assaulted. That's not a fun place to be. I'm a survivor of 2 sexual assaults. It's from straight, cis, white male men. I can't tell you. Until you've walked in our shoes, you really don't have no fucking idea. You have no clue. And you're operating from a place of privilege. You really are, because you may never be in that position. And again, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, but hey, you're wishing that on us, and that ain't right. Okay? So I don't expect to convince anybody to change their minds on this, but you love to talk about us, but you never talk with us. You talk at us, but you never talk with us, and you probably don't ever listen. But by chance someone's listening, we hope we made a difference. And if anything else, we got our point across. This has been Ava Dev Dolly. Be good to each other. Love you all.